to this late edition of the Blunt Talk Sports Podcast on this beautiful Saturday evening, Sunday morning now. Pardon me, y'all. I was up pretty much celebrating and enjoying my Yankees making it to the World Series, first time in 15 years. It's been an amazing day of sports, really. I mean, between baseball, college football that's been on all day. Just hands down, amazing day for sports. As always, like, share, and subscribe, guys. Check the show out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, as well as on Substack. As well, if you are any of my people that watch the show or subscribe to the show that are iPhone, Apple users, I implore you, check out Apple Books, check out Apple Music for the latest music that's out there on Apple, and as well, check out, if I remember, there's another link that I have to a show that I have to post. I have to post it in here, guys. It might be in the description. I had it written down. It's not in front of me right now because I was literally that hype celebrating. I can't tell you how ecstatic I am to see this team back in the World Series. I mean, damn the fact it's been 15 years, which for the Yankees is a long time. This year, it was a lot of people talking shit. You know, oh, they spent money again. Not really sure how that shit's going to play out. Oh, what the fuck does it mean that they got Juan Soto? It's all got to be put together, which, I firmly agree with. You don't automatically assume that a guy's going to win just because he's in the New York Yankees uniform. We've seen a lot of guys get in the Yankees uniform and not succeed. So I'm not really shocked there too much, but ecstatic. Juan Soto has been everything he's been advertised to be. I mean, honest to God truth, there's no reason why he shouldn't get his contract now. If I'm Brian Cashman, man, pay that motherfucker right now. There's no reason to even bullshit yourself. Pay him the money. I mean, in all honesty, like, this team has been contending for World Series in the past 7 years. I think they've made the ALCS probably 4 times, roughly. I could want to say about 4 times, maybe 5. They haven't won. It's been a while. It's been a long while. So to see this and to see Giancarlo Stanton, to see Juan Soto, to see Aaron Judge, to see these guys kind of like lift their game and rise to the occasion, especially Stanton. I mean, he's been Mr. October for the Yankees, hands down. I've been very excited of what I saw from Luke Weaver. The bullpen held together for as much as possible. They're going to have to play better if we're going to win the championship. Make no mistake about it. We're going to need Garrett Cole to be exceptional next Friday in that game 1. So, without all that being said, shout out to the Guardians. Guardians ain't no fucking slouch. They did for that series to have ended 4-1. It didn't feel like a 4-1 type of series. It felt like a 4-2, 4-3 type of series, but when you're playing, you got to get, like, again, this is why Brian Cashman spent the money. When you got guys like Soto and Judge and Stanton, that's the middle of your lineup, you're going to be hard to fucking beat. All you need really is pitching to really do its job, and the sky's the limit. So, fantastic. Now, 4 victories away. You got to go win it now. It's like they say, it was a good thing to win the conference tonight. It's a good thing to secure the American League pennant, but now you got to go win the championship. So, shout out to them Yankees, hopefully a big parade ahead in New York. I'm excited, man. I can't lie to you. I've been waiting for this move for a long while. So, definitely great to see that. I thought what was also interesting, too, was I kind of caught a lot of, because I was watching a lot of content today, obviously waiting for the Yankees game to come on later. I caught a lot of the college games early. First college football game I caught. Shout out, and I hate to even say this because as a diehard Florida State Seminoles fan, and I know we see Miami, I believe, next. It pains me to say this. We are going to get our asses kicked. Miami is a fucking problem. I'm watching that game, and, it was a typical ACC style game. Louisville always plays the top teams tough. They're a good team. They're good defensively, definitely good offensively. They average 36 points per game. So you knew they were going to give Miami some wreck. They was going to give them some competition. It was a shootout for the most of the game, but Miami doing what they've been doing all year, which is just putting teams away. Whether it's Cam Ward making great plays, or whether it's the defense stepping up, or Restrepo making a great play on offensive special teams. Somehow, some way, they've been they figured it out finally. Like all this time, they've been struggling to try to get this program back together and get this program back in good shape and on the right track and winning side of football. And it looks like this year they got a lot of the horses they need. And it got me to thinking, and like I said, it pains me to say this, but this is definitely a playoff team. This is a dark horse Final 8, Final 4 style playoff team. They're not great defensively. They leave a lot to be desired. I mean, even today, they got into a shootout with Louisville, and I mean, Louisville averages 36 a game, as I previously stated. They give up 45 to Louisville. Realistically speaking, you want to say 38, okay, whatever, but still, it's a lot of points to be given up for a team that's trying to compete, compete for a national title. But again, defense outside of defense being the Achilles heel for the Hurricanes, I got to give them a lot of props. I mean, they're doing a lot of things right. They're plugging away. Cam Ward is playing exceptional ball right now. He's playing Heisman-like football. Um, yeah, I got to give Miami credit, man. They look like a team that's going to be hanging around at the end. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, like I said, they'll definitely beat the shit out of my Seminoles in a week, but woo, got to give Miami credit. Like I said, they look good. They look real dangerous. Right after that, I followed that up with the Alabama and Tennessee game, which was another thrilling SEC-style football game, as it usually is. Um, it's crazy because I was taking notes throughout the game, and you could see both teams were kind of like struggling early on to kind of get things going. It was tight, but I got to give Tennessee credit because Tennessee just found ways to win. Great catch at the end of the game, obviously to secure the win late in the game, but just plugging away, fighting that resolve that they showed. Tennessee is a legitimate team. They're going to be a legitimate out for anybody who runs into them going down the stretch into the playoffs. They're going to be a hard out. Alabama, and this is just my personal opinion. It's not a knock against Kalen DeBoer. It's just being, straight up factual. Kalen DeBoer, in my opinion, is a very good coach. Um, he achieves everywhere he's been. He really does well. I just feel like right now we're really getting to see the difference between Nick Saban and like Kalen DeBoer. Because it's not that Kalen DeBoer makes horrible play calls or he doesn't really know what he's doing. It's not that at all. It's not aptitude or competency. It's just that when Nick Saban was doing it, you had faith and trust that it was going to get done. And then when it didn't get done, it was a shock to you. You don't feel this way with Alabama. And granted, a lot of guys left through the transfer portal. A lot of guys left once they found out Nick Saban wasn't going to be there, so I get it. You probably don't have all the talent that you probably would have once started out with going into the season, but yeah, they do not look the same, like not even in the least bit. And it was weird because the way the game started, Tennessee, was driving and they turned the ball over. And then, Alabama kind of has some drives and stalls out. Tennessee eventually starts, scoring, and it's kind of like a little bit of a back and forth. And then it's tight again, and then Tennessee pulls away. But final score was 24-17, Tennessee over Alabama. Like I said, got to give Tennessee props. Tennessee was prepared for this game. They had a game plan, they executed it, and like I said, if you're an Alabama fan, you kind of got to just swallow your pride and admit that you'll probably be good, but you probably won't be Nick Saban good. Probably will never be that good ever again. Because, like I said, Kalen DeBoer, it's not that I think he's a bad coach. It's just that I feel like he leaves a lot to be desired at times. And there were some calls today. And granted, I didn't even like the way the officiating was in this game. I felt like the officiating was kind of shitty in this game too. But, it's starting to get late in the season. It's going to be called tight. These games, the magnitude of these games increased. But all in all, shout out to the Vols, go Vols, and big win for Tennessee. And then, because I couldn't get enough football for the day, as y'all can obviously tell, up 1:32 in the morning, talk about recap of these games. But Georgia and Texas, that was a great game. Started off pretty boring at first. It was complete utter domination by Georgia, up 23-0. That was top of the third quarter. The game looked like it was pretty much out of hand, but it was weird because Texas, you could tell like they didn't have their mojo or their energy. It seemed like, for lack of better words, Ewers was just starting out very slow. Arch Manning came in for a couple plays, 2 drives to be exact. Excuse me, didn't really have much of anything to generate. So Sarkisian went back to Ewers. Not sure exactly what he said to him at halftime, but it worked. Not as sure. He challenged his receivers. That worked. Um, it was weird because coming like towards the middle of the third, end of the third, score was 23-8, and you kind of felt like Texas had kind of got the momentum back. And we all know, if you've played football, if you played real life, or you've played Madden, you understand that football is a game of momentum. And once you got it and you start steamrolling with it, all bets are off for the other team. So um, it just seemed like Texas, once they got their momentum and it kind of shifted to their direction, they were ready and on the attack. At one point, they had 15 unanswered. Got to give Texas credit for that. Um, like I said, the adjustments Sarkisian made at halftime seemed like they were working. Um, it was weird too because I think the real problem for Texas in this game, they weren't really able to establish the run consistently enough to be able to move the ball up and down the field, and I think that hurt them. Um, then like the referees, it just seemed like the referees were kind of, 1 minute they're calling a penalty, then they're doing a huddle, and they're like, no, it's not a penalty. Which, don't get me wrong, like even that pass interference call that got negated and then re-brought back, that eventually led to a Texas touchdown where it turned into like eventually an 8-point game. If you guys remember at that point where the wide receiver in the corner at the top of the route fighting, I thought it was weird that it was pass interference called at first anyway because the defender has a right to the ball and then to engage too. So I always kind of thought that was kind of weird how that played out, but they fixed it. Fans was pissed the fuck off because they was throwing water bottles on the field and pretty much like not having that shit. So, needless to say, it was tight. It was tight for a while. But all that being said, it seemed like Texas had kind of got the momentum. Turned it into an 8-point game. Like I said, the score was Georgia 23, Texas 15 at that point. And like I said, 15 unanswered by Texas. So you had to give Texas credit for that. Um, it seemed like the momentum was completely swinging in Texas's way, and then inability to not finish drive. Georgia's defense just stepping up. Their defensive ends just applying pressure, ungodly. Like, it's when that Georgia defense is swarming on you, when they're coming from all the edges and they're coming to swarm down, you better figure it out real fucking quick. Because if not, they're fucking you up. And like I said, credit to the Bulldogs, man. They definitely came to play today. They were not playing. Definitely were not playing. Going even further, before I wrap up this episode, we're going to talk about the NFL games. We're going to talk about the prep for Week 7 NFL. These are going to be the games that I'm going to watch personally, but I'm definitely going to keep an eye on the rest of the league and update you guys tomorrow as things go along. But the games that I'm pretty much going to keep an eye out for, definitely Eagles versus Giants. You have Chiefs versus 49ers, Super Bowl rematch. It's going to be the late 4:25 game. Texans versus Packers. Like I said, I think it's going to be a good 1 o'clock game. I definitely want to check. And then Jets versus Steelers, which is the Sunday night football game, which I think is going to be a huge game for the Jets. Everybody knows, oh, they got Devontae Adams. Yeah, but shit, can Tyron Smith block? Because if Espinosa from Buffalo was tearing his ass up, what the hell is TJ Watt and the boys going to do coming off the edge? Yeesh. So then, of course, you got Jaguars and Patriots, which is the day started off tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Like I said, the game will be held in London. Jags, needless to say, Jaguars need a win. Patriots. It's Drake May's second start. Kind of interested to see how the game plan is going to be for him. But both teams kind of need to win. Jacksonville more than New England, but either way, both teams need to win. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it all plays out. Like I said, I just thought it was kind of crazy how a lot of these games lined up. And what's funny too is, like I said, the Eagles Giants game's a 1 o'clock game, Texas Packers a 1 o'clock game. Outside of Chiefs 49ers and Jets Steelers, those are only two late games, 4:25, 8:30. Even though even Jaguars and Patriots is 9 a.m. in the morning. So I'm gonna be up early, definitely catching these games out, staying plugged in as always. Adding in, plugging content as always. Like I said, check the show out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and as well as on Substack. As well, like I said, if you love books, check out books on Apple Books. Any updated music, latest rappers, singers, or pop music, hey, whatever you're listening to music-wise, definitely check that out on iTunes, Apple Music Store. I love you guys as always. Like I said, this show is growing by the week, by the day. I believe in a firm model of stacking my days and getting 1% better each day. It's things like this, just consistency, and, being consistent to the show, consistent to y'all, being consistent to the content. It's helping the show grow. It's helping the show grow. Looking to definitely add some more advertisement. Definitely gonna be plugging in with some more people and doing some more work. But I'm just ultimately thankful. Thank y'all as always, because again, ultimately without y'all, there will be no Blunt Talk Sports Podcast. So go ahead, hit the sack in a little while. Probably celebrate this victory a little bit more. Definitely enjoy this cold ass Heineken. And it's funny because, like I said, I'm gonna be up early tomorrow watching these games and getting on these games. That Jaguars Patriots game at 9 a.m. But definitely gonna make sure that I enjoy this night because Yankees win. Damn, Yankees win. But nonetheless, guys, that's going to do it for this live stream edition of the Blunt Talk Sports Podcast. Like I said, great win for Tennessee today, winning 24-17. Great win for Miami, beating Louisville 52-45. Great day of sports, man. Like I said. And also, too, I'd be remiss. I definitely want to say this before I let you guys go, before I end this tonight. Michigan football. I try with all my might to watch Michigan today when they play Illinois. First of all, shout out to Illinois for wearing those horrendous throwbacks and pulling out the victory. But more importantly, shout out to Illinois for beating Michigan. And though it wasn't necessarily Jim Harbaugh's Michigan, though it was technically Harbaugh-esque or, Harbaugh light, Michigan just sucks offensively right now. They really are just a bad offensive team. And I know they kind of got away, because a year ago they won and, they won some games that they probably weren't supposed to, or I don't know. But it ain't looking good. You couldn't really run the ball. Passing attack was just kind of frivolous. Like, they're asking, will Tuttle be the quarterback at halftime, coming out of halftime? And it was like kind of like no discussion by Sharon Moore, and which I don't understand why it wasn't. I mean, he was playing like dog shit. I mean, he played horrible, but I guess at that point, you just compounding the problem by just adding somebody in there who's not really experienced, good, or equipped or ready to kind of handle the situation or problem. But needless to say, I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. Take care. Definitely, like I said, plug in tomorrow. Have some updates on the games. I have some episodes coming to you early in the morning that you can watch. Whether you're into that Jags Patriots game or whether you're waiting for your team's game to come on, either way, you'll have some content from the Blunt Talk Sports Podcast to plug into early on that beautiful early Saturday morning. Take care, guys, and as always, enjoy your weekend.